Hello,
Oh,
ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into a special edition. I don't know what we're calling this, but I'm just going to call this a combination of the Sunday Sideline Report / Sports Insanity Podcast Extra Innings kind of deal. We're going to
last
talk
Thursday
about
night gridiron.
/ Thursday Night Gridiron / it's not really the throwdown, but
We're
going to
not
throw
talking
down.
Cordell Stewart here.
We're going to throw down the Thanksgiving football games. I'm Mike Rifkin, joined by Bill Murphy and Mark Halpern. Gentlemen, first off, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, and happy Thanksgiving to all our listeners and watchers out there.
Except for Canada, because your Thanksgiving was last month.
Yes.
So, all right. So we're going to talk about the 3 NFL games we have on Thursday. We'll start with the first one. It's probably out of the 3, it's the most boring one also. And it feels like this is a game that's been played multiple times over the last couple of years on Thanksgiving. We have the Chicago Bears traveling to Detroit to play the still winless Detroit Lions. Second meeting of the season. The first meeting had the Bears winning 24-14. In that game, Jared Goff had 299 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had 3 fumbles, 2 lost. David Montgomery, 106 yards, 2 touchdowns. So I don't want to say these are 2 teams in the same direction, but these are 2 not very good football teams, to say the least.
But by record standings, one is definitely better than the other.
Well, if you go back and watch the first game, the Lions actually could have won this game.
Yes, they could have.
And if you look at the Lions schedule that comes up, this might be the only game they have left that they could actually win.
Yep. Or they're going to tie their own record at 0-16.
And one, because they have
right? Because you got
they have the tie with the Steelers,
right?
So I think we didn't expect the Lions to go winless, but we didn't think they were any good before the season. Where are we on the Bears? Because this was a team that last year snuck into that last playoff spot, more so due to the failures of the Arizona Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a team that I think with the defense they have, we should have had a higher expectation than what they've shown so far with their 3-7 record. Am I wrong, guys?
In this case, Mike, no, you're not wrong. You know, you're looking at a team, like you said, that snuck into the playoffs last year. The year before, I believe they finished 8-8. And the year before that, they finished 12-4. You know, I don't think it's so much of the team that's in the downward spot. I think the coaching staff has broken down, and it's not knowing what to do with this team. Hence the chance at Soldier Field, Nagy must go. Obviously, you know, he won't be the first coach fired this season because that happened today, but we're going to save that for Sunday. But when it all comes down to it, you can't always blame the players on the field. You have to blame the job the coaching staff is doing in getting you ready for those plays.
Bill?
I totally 100% agree. I think Matt Nagy is part of the problem. And I have been saying when Black Monday or sooner comes, I think Nagy's going to be one of the first to go. But because as Mark said, at Soldier Field, they're chatting Nagy must go. And this team is basically on a downward spiral. And like you said, Mike, last year they just got in. So I don't really know what to say about the Bears, but you know what? Can I just say one thing about this game at least?
Sure.
This is going to probably be the games on Thanksgiving I'm going to be looking forward to the least.
I think that's
you and the rest of America.
I think if you look at the other two games, they're much better. We'll talk about those in a few minutes. There was the report today, and Matt Nagy was asked about this during his press conference today, that he is going to quote unquote get fired after the Thanksgiving game. The Bears have not confirmed this. Matt Nagy says he hasn't talked upstairs. What a way to spend Thanksgiving, though. You play the Lions, and then you're fired on Thanksgiving. So I'll say
not a way to keep you in the holiday spirit.
no,
No.
darn turkeys.
And of course, you get fired in Detroit of all places.
Well, the thing is going to be this: if you lose this game to the Lions, you deserve to be fired.
Fired, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
You lose this game, you deserve to be fired.
Absolutely.
If they win this game, I think he'll go after the season. I think they'll give him the season unless something unforeseeable happens.
I mean, the Bears have pieces to
Well,
put together a good run, but the problem is they don't have a quarterback. Not to take anything away from Andy Dalton and Justin Fields, they don't have a quarterback ready.
But Mark, what's the old saying? If you have two quarterbacks, you don't have any quarterbacks.
That's fair enough.
And now to your point, Andy Dalton's going to start due to Justin Fields' injury. The problem I have is you moved up 9 spots in the draft to take Justin Fields. You moved up. To me, at that point, that shows Justin Fields is the guy, and he should have been the starter from day one.
Absolutely.
It's not a knock on Andy Dalton.
No.
Andy Dalton is a reliable starter in the NFL. He is. I mean,
he also had a pretty decent
I could just
career.
ask you, where would the Cowboys have been last year without Andy Dalton?
Better off.
I mean,
sorry.
no, it's fine.
In all
Look,
honesty, when you look at what Dallas had last year, Andy Dalton was the one with the most experience, and
Right.
he didn't play horrible. It's just that he ended up on his ass a lot.
Right, and I think that that's because of a lot of reasons, but he's reliable. He's a good guy. He's loved. But when you sign him to the contract you do, and you put out the moniker on Twitter with a picture of him that says QB1, I think people are going to question why you're moving up 9 spots to go get Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to go with him right away. So that you have that situation. David Montgomery, when he's healthy, is a stud running back.
Very good pass reception.
Very
running
good
back as
receiver
well.
out of the backfield. Then there's the curious case of Allen Robinson, who played so well under Mitchell Trubisky, and
Hard to say a sentence like that.
And now I don't know what he is, because he's done nothing most of this year.
Teams
And this is after they
sorry.
franchise tagged him and didn't give him a long-term deal.
Right. This is what happens when you have one star receiver on your team. You're going to double down on him, and you're going to make the guys with the least experience come up with plays. Now, this kid Mooney had a nice week last week, 5 for 120 and a touchdown. But I think this week's game, especially against the Lions, you just play football. Don't try to go over the top and force stuff. You have a game you should easily win.
I think the people who are most happy with the Allen Robinson situation this year are other NFL GMs, because his price this offseason
Forget it.
is going down.
Oh, everyone, he's going to be bid on by everybody.
I'm saying this as a fan and not a person of rationalism.
Mm-hmm.
If I was a team in need of a wide receiver, I don't know, like the Miami Dolphins, Allen Robinson would be my first call. That would be my first call, because I don't think you're going to wind up with Devontae Adams, but the price tag just lowers on him, on Allen Robinson. So I think we're going to flip. I want to flip it really quick, because we talked about the Lions not having a win yet. And although they've come close the last 2 weeks. They tied with the Steelers and then they lose by a field goal to Cleveland, who that's a whole nother conversation we can have another day.
Right.
But here's the rest of the Lions schedule. They play the Bears Thanksgiving. Then they play the Vikings, who they lost on the last second field goal to. Then they play at Denver, the Cardinals, at the Falcons, at the Seahawks, and then close the year out at with a home game against the Packers.
Not an
So
easy schedule, but
that game week 18 may not matter to the Packers. So you're probably not playing against Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams and those guys. So that game is a possibility. This game's a possibility. And the only other
Atlanta
one I
game.
think maybe that at Atlanta game.
yeah.
I think those are the three games. I don't trust Denver enough to say that,
No.
but I don't know. If I'm Dan Campbell, you said you're going to bite kneecaps off. Let's go.
I'm gonna say maybe the Minnesota game if they came so close last time. But as I said on the podcast on the Sports Insanity the other day, I've been saying Minnesota, I think in that NFC playoff picture is the sleeper team.
Well, Minnesota, San Francisco this week. That's a game we're going to talk about Sunday.
Yeah.
Both
That's gonna be a
teams
big
riding
game.
high right now, so that should be interesting. So I think all in all, we like the Bears.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the Bears.
I would like to see a nice day out of DeAndre Swift. It wouldn't hurt, but yes, the Bears should win this outright.
All right, and if you are a betting individual, the line is the Bears by a field goal.
Oh, they'll cover that.
They should cover that.
They should cover it by a touchdown or more.
All right. So that's the first game. Well, now, Mark, on to the second game of our triple header on Thanksgiving.
Here we go. The annual 4:00 Dallas Cowboy football Thanksgiving game will be played against the troublesome, and not troublesome that the team is actual trouble, but the troublesome Las Vegas Raiders.
Listen,
This is a game-
it's the Las Vegas Raiders of Oakland. So you
Of
can always
There
say
we go.
that.
All right, there we go. Fair enough. Coming off of last week's game against Kansas City, we can point fingers anywhere you want to point them. It not going to change the fact that Dallas lost. And that was a game Dallas should have won, but there were so many things that happened. I'm not going into it. This is a game Dallas needs right now. You got Zeke a little banged up, but he looks like he's going to be good to go. CeeDee Lamb is clearing the concussion protocols. He is going to be available. The only person that Dallas is going to be down, and that's going to be Armani Cooper, who will not be able to clear the COVID protocol in time for the Thanksgiving game, but he should return the following week. This is a game where Dallas needs to do what they did to the Atlanta Falcons. They need to blow it out of the water. And mind you, I'm not for running up the scores to embarrass somebody, but the loss to Kansas City, it didn't make me pissed. I was disappointed because there was no continuity on offense. The defense, you hold Patrick Mahomes to no touchdowns. That proves your defense is legit. I don't care if they were 1-7. You stop Patrick Mahomes, your team is legit. You got Prescott, you got the first string offense. You're getting Tyron Smith back, so he's going to get that protection at the top of the line, which he was being pressured from all last week. Then let's take a quick look at the Las Vegas Raiders. We all know what's been going on with them the entire season between the Gruden mess and the letting go of prospects and Henry Ruggs. And they fought through it. They were once 5-2. And we were all looking at it. Now they've lost 3 straight, and now they're 5-5. Okay. This defense of the Raiders is beat up. It's tired. You can see it. They're not able to move around the field as much. So I truly think the big days are going to be from Dalton Schultz, Blake Jarwin's on the IR, I miss you, man. Dalton Schultz, and I believe the other name you're going to hear a lot of is Tony Pollard. And that is because Zeke's knee, he's going to play. But his knee and his ankle got twisted, so he really didn't play much in KC, but he's going to play this Thursday. But I think you're going to be looking more as Tony Pollard getting the bulk of the carries.
So I want to ask you this off of what you just said. You say it's going to be more Pollard. If you're Mike McCarthy, I know Zeke could say he's ready to go. It's a short week.
Mm-hmm.
I need Zeke long term. Does that cross your mind of a point of maybe
The moment he twisted his
think
knee on the sideline, I said, "You're sitting in Thanksgiving." It's look, if the game, let's say this was week 17, and
yeah.
Zeke plays. There's no question. Dallas is 7-3. Yes, Philadelphia and Washington have won a couple games and made a run. Thank God the Giants just keep losing. It makes my life easier. But this is not a
Jason
place.
Garrett applauds this.
This is not a week to play Ezekiel Elliott. Let him sit. Let him get healthy. You're going to have that nice long 10-day turnaround after this game. Let him get healthy. Pollard is a very capable back. He's a good pass catcher. He's good out of the backfield. Let Pollard play. You get down to the 1-yard line, you're dressing Zeke, and you want to try to let him punch it in because of his strength. That's a different story. Otherwise, I'd be doing Pollard the entire game. Bill, I know you got the hands going. You're itching. What do you want to say? Go for it. Go for it.
I just want to say I kind of agree with you on Ezekiel Elliott. And yeah, taking another jab at my team. Thanks, Mark. But anyway.
It's not his fault they suck.
Yeah.
Bill will be back in a minute.
Good day right now with the news that okay, can you hear me now?
Yep, go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, hashtag internet problems. Anyway, so yeah, but I agree. If Zeke is out,
okay, so Zeke is out. I know where Bill is going with this. You know, you got Pollard, who is definitely more than capable. Yeah, Bill, you might want to restart. You sounded like Max Headroom from the 80s there for a few minutes.
Okay, I'll be back in a second, guys.
Not a problem.
Okay,
not a
that's
problem.
fine.
This game is a classic trap game, and it's one of those games.
There's Admiral Akbar with the "It's a trap."
You can say what we want to say on paper and what it looks like and everything. But when it boils down to it, this is a game Dallas has to win to just get that momentum going into that nice little 10-day bye.
For me, I think where I want to look at this from the Cowboy perspective is you said they're getting Tyron Smith back. If you can contain Yannick Ngakoue and Max Crosby on the outside, you have a good chance because the rest of this Raider defense is it's not that it's bad. It's just it's weak right now with whatever the reason may be. I mean, if you look at the last couple of weeks, 41 to the Chiefs, that's fine. 32 to the Bengals. I mean, and that's coming off of, I know it's 23 points, but you gave up points to the Giants who've struggled. This is not this is not an offense you want to play when your defense is struggling.
Right.
So if Dak gets the ball out quickly, which he usually does, but if CeeDee Lamb plays, get him involved early. Get Gallup involved early. That way there's a rhythm to this offense. And there's no tricks. There's no BS. Just do what you do.
Right.
Take care of your business if you're the Dallas Cowboys. The NFC least is yours to win.
Yeah, it's looking like ours to give away if they keep playing like this.
Right. You said it, Mark. They gave up 19 points to Mahomes.
Mm.
In Arrowhead, they gave up 19. You
Which
held
it-
Mahomes under 20. You should win that football game.
9 times
Absolutely.
out of 10.
So there's a lot that goes into this for
Mhm.
the Cowboys. Flip it to the Raiders. We said they were 5-2 at one point. They're now 5-5, and I'm not going to go into details on the Gruden thing. If you want to check it out, there's a blog written about it by me and Bill. Check it out on the website, www.thesportsinsanitynetwork.com. I'm not going to get into Henry Ruggs. Guy's a clown show. I'm not going to get into Damon Arnett. Guy's another clown show. But it feels like, what the saying on the Vegas commercials, whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yes.
This feels like that. Whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but now it's making Vegas crumble.
God bless him.
I mean,
the amount of money that was probably lost over the weekend is astronomical.
I mean, they've given up 73 points the last 2 weeks. Let me repeat that. They have given up 73 points the last 2 weeks. I'm not saying this is all on one particular guy. I don't think any of us are saying this is on one particular individual. But I think now I'd love to get your guys' opinion on this. I think with John Gruden now out, I felt when he was there, he had all the power over Mike Mayock, even though Mayock had title of general manager.
Right.
I still think it was Gruden's power. If you are Mark Davis or Mike Mayock, I want you to evaluate yourself from this position. Derek Carr's a very good quarterback. I don't know if he's franchise level guy. I don't. I think he is. I think he's a very good quarterback. Would you consider blowing this up and restarting from scratch? That way the center of attention kind of goes away from the Gruden, Ruggs, Arnett stuff, or do you need guys like Derek Carr to help kind of like the PR issues that you face with this
Bill, why
stuff?
don't you go first on this one?
Okay. Mike, I hate to be rude, but can you repeat the question, please?
So I want you to think you're either Mark Davis or Mike Mayock.
Okay.
Do you consider blowing this team up in the process of what you know about Gruden, Ruggs, Arnett, plus in the fact of you're now in a division where Mahomes looks like Mahomes again. The Chargers have found a quarterback. And Denver is rumored to be in that Aaron Rodgers, kind of sweepstakes.
So as in blow up, as you mean just tank the rest of the year?
Not tank the rest of the year, but I'm saying kind of start a rebuild.
Well, to be fair, I don't know if I can give you a straight answer, but I'll give you the best answer I can. I think it's kind of a mix of both. On one hand, you need I think you need to just, with all the crap that has gone through, I think with the crap that all that the Raiders have gone through this year with Gruden and all that crap, I think you do sort of need to rebuild. I think at the end you do sort of need to rebuild and just say, okay, you know what? We got to move forward now, get a new head coach, someone out of the reach, and just have a whole new not a whole new franchise, I'm sorry, a whole new staff, whole new culture, and just try to make a better team. But on the other hand, I think you need to try at least, because this AFC West, like you said, Mahomes is looking good again. Mahomes is looking good again. The Broncos are in it. Chargers are looking good. This is a very competitive division right now. So I would say, on the other hand, I think the Raiders do need to try to play through the year and say, you know what? Okay, we had a rocky couple weeks with the Gruden thing and everything else, but you know what? We're here. We are here. We can, even though our franchise has been a mess for the past month, we can still play football, and we can have a damn good season. We make the playoffs. That's saying something. But again, on the other hand, I kind of totally agree with the first point is maybe we do need to start rebuilding as well.
So I want a yes or no answer then from what you just said.
Oh shoot! I just gave you a doctoral thesis.
You're a gambler because you're Vegas now.
Okay.
Are the Las Vegas Raiders a playoff team in 2021? Yes or no?
I'm gonna say yes.
You think they get it? Okay.
I think it's not going to be easy, but I think they can sneak in. If they're going to let me rephrase that. If they're going to get in, I think they're probably going to sneak in. I don't think anything's sealed.
All right. So just for argument's sake, here's the rest of their schedule. Then, Mark, you could go on the same topic we're on. Sure. They play at Dallas this week. Then they play a Washington team who, are they back? I mean, I don't know. Then they play Kansas City, who just thumped them a couple of weeks ago. They play Cleveland, who's, I don't know, they have too many issues to talk about. Then they play Denver again. Then they end the season at the Colts and the Chargers. This is not easy.
That's got to be one of the tougher schedules remaining.
And just for argument's sake, they would have they have tiebreakers by beating the Ravens earlier in the year. They beat Pittsburgh early in the year, so they have tiebreakers over those teams. They will not have a tiebreaker over the Bengals, who just beat them on Sunday. So, Mark, where are you on this whole, what should the Raiders do this offseason? Should we keep it going, or is it time to maybe click the reset button?
I think you have to take a long look at this team and see who belongs and who doesn't. Right now, for me, the coaching staff needs to go. Mm-hmm. But, drop them all at the end of the season, restart a new coaching staff. Derek Carr is another interesting point. You made a good point. Is he franchisable? Is he a career Raider? I do not believe so. I believe Derek Carr will either be traded or he will leave when his contract is up. I don't think he's fit for a West Coast style offense. He's got a great arm. He's got good vision, but he's making too many mistakes over the last few weeks. And that's not how West Coast football is played. If I'm Mark Davis and I'm signing the checks, I'm signing them to the people who deserve and earn them. You're going to tell me that just because you feel victimized that you're part of this team. Well, you want to know something? You signed a contract to be with this team. You play your contract. Okay? So if he has to set some examples by saying, you don't like it, get out and drop some big people to show he means business. Is he his father? No. There's never going to be another Al Davis. There will never be another Al Davis. Al Davis was the butch when it came to being a owner. The thing that Mark Davis needs to do, and considering you're now Las Vegas, you got a new venue, you got to put a team on the field that fans are going to want to come see. That's where I'm at on it. Get rid of your troubles, start anew if you have to, and go from there.
So I'm going to give my reasoning on why I brought up Derek Carr, because he's there. He was there with Gruden. He was there with the regime kind of prior to Gruden as well. So he's been inherited. I don't know if you want to go with him in a third head coach. Not because Derek Carr is bad. I think Derek Carr is a very good, serviceable quarterback. But it's my point on the other two specific teams. The Chiefs with Mahomes, you know they're always going to be somewhat good. But then you have the Los Angeles Chargers of San Diego with the surfer from Oregon, Justin Herbert, and that beautiful hair he has.
Sunshine.
But all the dude does is he slings rockets to Keenan, Mike Williams, Jared Cook, Stone Cold Steve Austin Eckler. The Chargers have built something really good, and that's why they're a good football team. Denver, Teddy Bridgewater's not the quarterback next year. They're going to make a play, whether it's Watson, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. They're making a play for one of those guys. That's why they're locking up Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick, and those boys.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a very good point.
And all of a sudden, and I think they're the world of Derek Carr. If Denver adds one of those three guys I mentioned, Derek Carr's the fourth best quarterback in the AFC West. And that's saying something because Derek Carr's a very quarterback. So I would move on and say, okay, let's try this again with someone else. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say these, I don't love this draft class of quarterbacks. I don't think there's a guy in there who you say, this dude's a stud for me for the next 15 years. I don't think that guy exists. But I don't think if you explain to the fan base what you're doing, there's not going to be a problem if you sign a Teddy Bridgewater to a bridge deal.
Right.
And say, hey, because Teddy Bridgewater will at least keep you competitive over the next couple of years. That's where you have to go, for me, if you're the Raiders. Because I'll tell you what, if a team misses out on Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, there are teams who are going to need Derek Carr.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at you, the Pittsburgh Steelers, because Big Ben's going to retire. I, as God is my witness, I hope Big Ben retires after this year.
No, he will.
So they're going to be in the market, whether that's Matt Ryan or that's Derek Carr. Fine, do it. And then just get picks and use the pick. That's the other reason why the Raiders are the Raiders. Those top picks they've had have not worked out. Will Ferrell's brother, Clelin Ferrell from Clemson, hasn't worked out. Colton Miller's been okay. He's not great. He's all right. Jonathan Abram, hard-hitting safety, but he's hurting often. Henry Ruggs was a first-round pick. Now look at him. Damon Arnett was a first-round pick.
They'll both be starring in The Longest Yard too.
They will be. With Mike Vick as their quarterback. Too soon. All right. But I mean, that would be me from a business perspective, what I would do. We'll wait and see. The line in this game is Dallas by 7.5. I think we all like the Cowboys. Do they cover, Mark?
They'll cover the 7.5. They win by 10 to 13.
All right. Bill?
I hate to say it as a Giants fan, but give me the Cowboys.
I think the Cowboys win too. The 7.5 is very tempting, but the Raiders have given up 73 points. I don't trust them. Cowboys will bounce back big way. They'll win this game by at least 2 scores.
Can I say something before we move on?
Sure, go ahead, Bill.
I want to rephrase something, what you asked me, because I didn't know the schedule, and I'm not blaming you for this one, Mike, but with the Raiders, I don't really know if they're going to be a playoff team. I was thinking, but until I heard the schedule, because they got to play what? They got to play Kansas City again, or is that?
They got to play each team in the division at least once. They got to play Cleveland. I think that game's in Cleveland. And they got to go to Indy. So it's not an easy road for them. And the way they're playing right now, makes it
I
all
really
worse.
don't think so. I think it's gonna be pretty much up in the air. Sorry, this is a cop out, but
No, listen, cop outs happen all the time. It is what it is.
yeah, so I think that's up in the air for the Raiders if they're making the playoffs.
Okay. On to the Thursday night Thanksgiving game. Before we dive into the game, they've run this the past couple of years. I don't know about you guys, but I love this alternative to just getting the Lions and the Cowboys
Oh, I
strictly
love
on
a third game.
Thanksgiving.
I love a third game.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
The
reason to eat
best
my
part
pie
about
in
it
front of
is the best part about it is it's on NBC, but you don't have to hear Chris Collinsworth tell you he loves everyone.
it.
Greatest part of this game. All right. This one's a good one. Interconference. It has the Bills traveling to New Orleans to play the Saints. The Saints are gonna honor Drew Brees at halftime of this game. They have announced.
Because they're
Drew Brees
thankful
will
for
be-
him.
Wow.
Drew Brees will be at the game covering it for NBC. I wonder if Sean Payton is gonna ask Drew Brees to quarterback this team because Trevor Siemian is not the answer. The Saints have been beaten the past couple of weeks. Last week by the Philadelphia Eagles. They haven't had Alvin Kamara the past 2 weeks. He didn't practice today. Neither did Mark Ingram, which
Yeah, both of them. Kamara will definitely be out.
Kamara's definitely
they will announce it tomorrow. Everybody is saying he will not play.
Well, there goes one of my
that's the
fantasy
best
teams.
That's the best offensive weapon the Saints got.
It's the only
Um,
offensive weapon the Saints got.
It's true. All right. Well, let's hit the Saints first since we're there. Jameis Winston was playing pretty well before he got hurt. I think we can agree there.
Yes.
Trevor Siemian, seen it before too many times. It's not good. It's not pretty. So I'm going to open this up with straight up. In 2022, so I'm going to fast forward a bit. Who's the starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints?
Well, you have to think with what they just signed Taysom Hill to is a
I'm
possibility.
happy you brought that up too, because they can finagle that around depending on position.
I mean, and we had talked about this via text also earlier today. That it's an issue. You're now going to commit to Taysom Hill, who has not played a full more than 4 games at quarterback in his life. He's come in and played a couple of downs.
He was a college quarterback, but in the pros, he's only got a limited number of games.
Right. So, Michael Thomas is going to be gone after this season. He isn't coming back. There's no way Thomas is coming back. In this case, you need New Orleans to really ascertain what they're going to do with what they have. And it's not much. Their defense is crap. Their defense is poor. I don't understand giving the contract extension like they did. There's no reason for it. Bill, what do you think about the Saints?
I think the Saints right now, with the quarterback situation, they're looking really tough because Winston's out. You got Taysom Hill, who is really not all that great, and you just lost to the Eagles. So I think the Saints are, and like you were just saying, Thomas is out for the year. Most likely in the context of this game, I will put 90% on it. Kamara's not going to play. I think the Saints are kind of a mess right now.
So what do they do at quarterback next year? That was my question to Mark, and so I'll throw that to you also.
Okay. What should they do at quarterback next year? I would say either see how Winston is or maybe go into the draft or maybe consider one of the possible free agents next year, like Wilson or Rogers or whomever. But I would say either look at Winston, do draft picks, or look at possible free agents because
Well, Bill, you narrowed that down pretty perfectly to the three choices they could do.
oh shite.
So
Sorry,
It's like
Bill.
I'm in their head. It's like I'm in their
had to
head,
do
Mark.
it. I had to do it, Bill.
Mark, it's okay.
no, Bill-
I absolve you. I absolve you.
Bill
here's the
understands and Mike understands the situation that's going on here. As Mike said and made a very good point, Taysom Hill's contract is going to be based on what position he plays. They're
Mhm.
not necessarily signing him as a quarterback. He's a good, he runs the jet sweep well and all that. But I think it's time that you scrap what you have at quarterback. Either, like Bill said, everybody, get a name from the draft, get a free agent, or you keep who you have.
So
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna try to narrow this down.
Bill, I was joking.
you don't have to because
You don't have to, Bill. I'm just,
I've got a
always have
couple of
fun with you.
solutions. If so you brought up the name Russell Wilson, and Russell Wilson had the list of 4 last offseason. That was the Bears, that was the Raiders, that was the Cowboys. The Bears just took Justin Fields, so they're not going to trade for Russell Wilson. The Cowboys just signed Dak, and they're not trading for Russell Wilson. We just said the Raiders should rebuild, so why are you going to trade for 32-year-old Russell Wilson? The 4th team on Russell Wilson's list are the New Orleans Saints. Either A, he really loves voodoo, or B, he really just wants to celebrate Mardi Gras.
you can't rule out
Or
the
if he really
jambalaya.
likes po' boys.
You can't rule out the jambalaya.
I
And
can't.
jambalaya.
You're right.
And some hurricanes.
Listen, it's Mardi Gras for the beads. Everyone knows it. The thing is this, the Saints have to make that work with the cap. As Mark said, I don't think Michael Thomas is back next year either. I think he gets traded. And once again, I'm going to keep screaming this one from the rooftops. The Indianapolis Colts just do it. I don't care the cost. So you can go that route if you can make it work cap-wise. Then there are other guys you can go. Jimmy Garoppolo. I think that's an interesting name for the Saints to look at. And then you could do something where it's Jimmy G versus Jameis in a battle. Whether it's a
all's gonna
rap
come down
battle,
to
quarterback
Jameis is going to
battle.
return in time. Because
Right.
that knee injury was severe.
Right. So until Jameis comes back, you have Jimmy G. Or, and this one's going to hurt a little bit.
Uh-oh.
Because a couple of weeks ago on the Thursday night Gridiron show, there's no way on earth that Tua Tagovailoa could be the Miami Dolphins quarterback next year because they firmly don't believe in it. Since then, he's won 2 in a row. The Dolphins sit at 5-7, halfway to 10-7 when they win the rest of the season. If the Dolphins are going to be heavily interested on Deshaun Watson, and that's the guy they're going to go get, Tua to the Saints makes perfect sense. The comp before the draft was he's left-handed Drew Brees. What team did Drew Brees play for?
No thanks.
It was rhetorical, but all right.
I was going to say the Chargers because that's where he was
That would have been right too. Yeah, so.
That's
And
true.
it's not going to cost you as much draft compensation. Also, it's a rookie contract, so it's affordable if you're the Saints. So those are just a couple of names. Obviously, they could get in on Aaron Rodgers if they really wanted to. We'll wait and see, but I called the Saints a playoff team before the season. That confidence has dwindled to about a 2 because of all the injuries and other stuff that's gone on. But I give Sean Payton credit, man, for the job he's done. He's such a good coach. All right, let's flip it to the Bills, who actually sit in second place in the AFC East behind some guy named Bill Belichick, who's back.
Back again.
Unbelievable. I could not believe.
The Bills are coming off a thumping at the hands of, I'm not even gonna say it was the Colts, but Jonathan Taylor whooped the Bills and he whooped my fantasy team at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a game I think the Bills need this game. If you've watched them the past couple of weeks, they had that performance on Sunday. 2 weeks ago, they had that performance against the Jaguars, which was not pretty. So I think there are a lot of people who, I don't want to say crown the Bills because they went to the AFC title game last year. But the way they started this year in specifics, the win particularly at the Chiefs, everyone was like, all right, it's the Bills AFC to lose. Then they lose the Titans game, then they lose to the Jags, they dominate the Jets, and then the Colts beat them. Why don't we have that consistency from the Bills, Mark?
Overconfidence. After coming out of last year, and what Josh had, look, Josh Allen, I was very happy when the Bills got him because I liked him as a college quarterback. I don't think teams had figured him out yet, or figured out the fact that he can scramble like anybody else, and that he can hit targets perfectly. I mean, when you got a wide receiver core of Emmanuel Sanders on one side, and you got Stephon Diggs, and then you got Cole Beasley, that's a good 3 for any quarterback, even if it's a rookie. To me, though, it feels like the defense, even though, yeah, they kicked the crap out of the Jets. You, me, and Bill could kick the crap out of the Jets. I mean, it's not that hard of a task. But more and more, when you look at how it's spread out, what the hell happened in that Jags game? That was the game to me that had me. Yeah, Jonathan Taylor had 5 scores on you this week. Unreal. Absolutely. Hats off to Jonathan Taylor. Now definitely a top 5 MVP candidate.
Oh, yeah.
But
Agreed.
during that, I go back to the Jacksonville game where you lost 9-6 and you couldn't score a touchdown on simply one of the worst teams in football. I don't understand how they're falling apart when you have all the right pieces. However, Dallas fell apart. Look at the Rams. They've lost a couple. Brady lost a couple, and then he kicked the shit out of the Giants. It's just the way things go. Yeah. It's just the way things go.
He is
Love you
number
too,
1
Mark.
in our heart.
And I feel bad for Moser, our good guy.
I don't.
He went up to the game, and Moser, you jinxed the Bills, you cost the loss, and I told you in a text you should jump and break a table for them to win, and you refused. It's all your fault.
We blame Moser.
And I text him that he was a bad luck charm, so he's not the Lucky Charms leprechaun.
So, Mark? Is he growing that beard on a bus and go to the Caribbean right now?
Yeah. I think he's taking the first rowboat himself out.
Poor Moser.
Never really, jackass.
Let me guess. He knows what he did.
Yeah, he went to the Bills game.
He went to the Bills game and then lost.
Yeah, that wasn't hard. So for me, and then I'll go to you, Bill, on this. For me, I think it's the lack of the running game.
Yeah, that's it.
And this is where I get frustrated from a football perspective, because we all witnessed the Bucs win the Super Bowl this year. And yeah, Tom Brady gets the glory because he's Tom Brady. But the Bucs will probably tell you firsthand, they don't win the Super Bowl without the play of Leonard Fournette in the playoffs.
That's
And how
an
good he
excellent
is.
point.
So when I look at the Bills, and the reason why I didn't pick them preseason for the Super Bowl was I thought this is what would hamper them unless they could get a running back, whether it was trade or free agent. I like Devin Singletary. I don't think he gets enough touches per game. That's a whole nother conversation. I like Zach Moss. I like the combination. You should be running it with them combined 24 to 28 times a game. And I do not want Josh Allen to run the football. And this is not personal, but I fear what happened to Dak last year happening to Josh Allen.
Mhm.
And if that happens to the Buffalo Bills, it's not all over because the defense, I think, is pretty good. And I love what Sean McDermott does. But a lot of things take a hit if they don't have Josh Allen. And I still feel Brian Dable should get a head coaching gig this offseason. He should have got one last year. Not going to go off on that. It's the run game. You need the run. Here's my equivocation to all of this.
Good word.
The Bills need a running game like the Ravens need a passing game. Because if you combine the two, you have the most ultimate offense in the league with Lamar's running ability and Josh Allen's arm. So that's who I think the Bills are missing the most. The Bills are definitely still a team I think that could go and win the Super Bowl, but they have to just establish the run. Establish the run.
Mhm.
Ground and pound. Where's Rex Ryan when I need him?
Sitting and
Although
eating
I'm
a
still-
cheeseburger.
I'm still probably trying to book that Rex Ryan versus Robert Saleh boxing match on the next Jake Paul card.
That would be
That's all I'm
fun.
going to say. All right. Bill, talk about the team you were named after.
Oh, the team I was named after, the Buffalo Bills. You know what? I think it's kind of what you were saying, Mike, establish the run game, but I'm mostly going off Mark's points. I think it is overconfidence because what have we been saying? Since Brady packed up to go to Tampa, and now he's a Florida man. You know, they were all saying, oh, it's the Bills division, it's the Bills division, it's the Bills division. It is the Bills division. They won and went to the AFC title game last year. But, you know, it's like what you said, like who have they played in the first couple of weeks? The Steelers, the Dolphins, the Washington, we still need a name, football team. The Texans, the Chiefs, the Titans, the Dolphins, and the Jaguars. The Jaguars, again, a game you should have won. And then who'd you recently beat? The Jets, which all you need to do is have a pulse. And then, like, when you just lost to the Colts, and now the next couple weeks, it's gonna be semi-tough with the Saints. You got the Pats twice, you got Brady, you got Carolina, which could go either way. Then you got Atlanta and the Jets again. You have at least 3 or 4 tough games coming up.
The 2 New England games.
Yes.
And the Tampa game.
Yes.
Those are 3 for sure. Carolina, I don't know about.
That's up in the air.
They should steamroll Atlanta. And they'll steamroll the Jets. And listen, I'll be the first guy to tell you, I love Josh Allen, and he completely owns the Dolphins. So those wins don't shock me. I think we all think the Bills are a playoff team. It's just, you know, you have to get certain things going if you want to make that run. All right. The line in the game is the Bills by a touchdown. Mark.
Covered by 3 touchdowns. I think they blow this out of the water. 21 points at least.
All right. Bill.
I'm gonna say the Bills with. I think they're gonna cover.
Yeah, I think they're gonna cover this. I think the Saints will keep it close for a half.
I would usually be a little hasty. I would usually be a little hasty because they're gonna be in New Orleans, right?
Yep, they're in New Orleans.
Yep.
And that is a very dangerous place to play. But knowing this Saints team, I'm gonna have to give it to the Bills.
You say that it's a tough place to play, but Daniel Jones went there and beat the Saints.
He did.
Oh, and here's a fun fact.
No.
After yesterday's game, Daniel Jones holds the most turnovers by anybody over the last 3 years with 49.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about the Giants on the Sunday show, based on what happened today.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, Bill. I just couldn't resist.
You listen, shots fired happens all the time.
Yes.
What a wonderful way to start the holiday season. Pissing me
Speaking
off.
of the holiday
Listen,
season,
listen. It's not the holiday season till you hear the chipmunks singing, and then it's the real holiday season.
but speaking of the holiday that's coming up, we got Thanksgiving tomorrow. Not tomorrow, Thursday. God,
Yeah,
I'm so used to recording Wednesday night. I don't know about you guys. What are you guys doing for the giving?
I'm gonna be home, and my brother's girlfriend and her family coming over.
Nice, Mike.
I am going into Manhattan to see family that I probably haven't seen in 2 years.
Very nice. I'm cooking. You know that's me.
Ooh.
I'm the cook of this group. You trust me. If I ever had to feed this group, I would have to rent the dining hall. You know, because that's how much food I have to make. I have to make a lot of food.
We can have Bill and Moser starve
Yeah, they can starve. You keep them outside. 2 blue
with
jerseys
the dogs.
outside. So
Here's the random deer carcass for you.
here's a question, that I like to ask, and I've heard a lot of people today. We can start with Bill on this one. What is your favorite Thanksgiving side?
Oh, that is a good question. I'm gonna have to say mashed potatoes, but I do want to give a very quick shout out to another side because this is a thing in my family. It's called a Irish dream salad. What we called it's gelatin with cherries, cream cheese, and walnuts. And it's in a gelatin. We call it the green mold. It was actually a big tradition. It's a big tradition in my family. It was started by my grandmother, who passed away earlier this year. May she rest in peace. Yeah, that is like that and mashed potatoes are probably my 2 favorite sides.
Okay. I'm Danny Boy. Mike.
I could try to be Dan. I can't really do a good Dan impression. No. For me, something my uncle makes a chili on Thanksgiving, and it's so good. Juicy, moist. It's spicy, but it's not too spicy. That and some cornbread. Oh, I'm sold. Listen, Bill, you're gonna have your potatoes and your health stuff. Thanksgiving is for us fat people who don't like to eat healthy. That is what Thanksgiving is for.
Who said the green mold was healthy?
No, but you said mashed potatoes too.
Yes. Well, that's
But
what
with all
Bill's
that
Irish.
cream and stuff, that is not healthy, my friend.
When me, I'm a stuffing guy.
Oh,
I mean,
like
I
stuffing.
love turkey and everything else. Me, you make that stuffing, you break the bread, you chop the carrots, you cut the onions, then you cook it in with the sausage, and you stuff it in the bird's ass, and you throw it in the goddamn oven.
Mark, do you put sausage into your stuffing?
I sure do.
Oh, love it. Love it.
Sure do. I take very, very big pride when I'm cooking big dinners. Little dinners, hey, that's why I have a cell phone and Seamless.
Hey, I want to open up the floor. What's your favorite Thanksgiving dessert?
Pumpkin pie. That's easy for me.
Oh. I'm not a big pie person, to be honest with you. When we were younger, my grandmother used to make these chocolate chip cookies that were phenomenal. And my mom used to bake my cousin a cake for her birthday, which is the week after Thanksgiving. And I loved my mom's cake. My mom's cake is one of my favorite things. So those would probably be it. I'm not a big pie person, so no pumpkin pie, no apple pie. Now, if we're talking Boston cream pie, that's a whole nother story.
Oh, you and my wife get along immediately right now. My wife loves Boston cream pie.
There's not a better donut in the world than a Boston cream donut.
Yeah, she loves you, by the way, now. So
Your daughter loves me. Your wife loves
yeah,
me. I might as well be an honorary member of the family.
your Uncle
Oh.
Rifkin.
Uncle Rifkin.
Your Uncle Rifkin.
Nice.
How does
But
that feel, Griff?
Hey, man. We are family. I've got all my brothers and sisters with me.
There, hey, you got the line right. There you go.
I had to think about for him.
Well, for anybody who is listening out there, and we know you are, please come out and check out the site, thesportsinsanitynetwork.com. Please read the blogs that we post every day. You got great ones regarding from football, soon to be cricket, from what I understand. We're going to be starting cricket, and Bill will be learning how to play the sport and writing all about it.
What?
Oh, sweet cricket.
Follow us on Twitter. Follow our other shows, The Throwdown, The Face Turn, Wishbone Shotgun, which is one of our very big popular football shows. And come listen to the Sports Insanity podcast, where we break down all sports. We're not singling any sports out like they do at Wishbone. We're spreading it out. And please tune in for The Throwdown, which is our new basketball show that is having a great run right now.
Listen, and watch videos like this on our YouTube page. Comment, let us know what you want us to talk about. And, maybe
Have questions, you can reach any of us at this site, and we'll be more than glad to answer your questions, even
Yeah.
bring you in on a live discussion.
Absolutely.
Reach out on the site. Everyone have a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy it with the family. For Bill Murphy, Mark Halpern, I'm Mike Rifkin. This has been, I have a combination of SIP/Wishbone Shotgun/Thursday Night Gridiron. But until Sunday, enjoy the 3 games on Thursday. Enjoy the family time, and namaste.
Namaste.